Babe Ruth was not just a baseball legend. He became a symbol of power, belief, and an indomitable spirit. In an era when baseball was still finding its identity, Ruth changed everything. With 714 home runs, a number that stood unchallenged for over 3 decades, he rewrote the rules of the game. But it wasn't just the numbers. Ruth's true influence lies in how he breathed new life into the sport, making it a passion for millions of Americans. What made Babe Ruth a legend whose name is still spoken with awe, even a century later? How did a mischievous boy from Baltimore rise to become a hero of the sports world, overcoming all obstacles to reshape an entire culture? Ruth's story isn't just about records or championships. It's about the power of dreams, the impact of a larger-than-life personality, and the way he turned baseball into the national pastime. Join us as we dive deep into the inspiring story of one of the greatest athletes of all time, Babe Ruth, a man whose legacy continues to inspire long after his final game. Early life. Humble beginnings. Babe Ruth's journey to greatness began in the heart of Baltimore, where he was born into a poor family on February 6, 1895. The son of a saloon owner, Ruth's early years were marked by neglect, as his parents were often too busy with their work to care for him. His rebellious nature led to frequent trouble at school, and by the time he was 7, Ruth was known for his constant wandering the streets, getting into mischief, and developing habits far beyond his years. His parents, desperate for change, made the difficult decision to send him to St. Mary's Industrial School for Boys, an institution that would have a profound impact on his life. It was here, behind the high brick walls of the school, where Ruth's relationship with baseball truly began. The institution, run by the Zayan brothers, was strict and demanding, but it also provided Ruth with a sense of discipline that had been absent in his early life. Under the guidance of Brother Matthias, a monk who would become one of his greatest mentors, Ruth discovered baseball. Brother Matthias, recognizing Ruth's immense talent, nurtured his skills, teaching him not only how to pitch, but also how to harness his raw energy and transform it into something extraordinary. The orphanage that had once been a place of confinement became Ruth's sanctuary, where he channeled his energy into the game he would eventually master. Turning point. Discovery of talent. Ruth's rise from a troubled boy to a rising star began when he was just 19. At St. Mary's, his raw pitching ability had already caught the eye of a local scout. Jack Dunn, owner of the Baltimore Orioles, saw something special in the young Ruth and decided to sign him. The nickname Babe came about when Dunn's teammates jokingly referred to Ruth as Dunn's new Babe, a name that would stick for the rest of his life. Ruth quickly became a sensation with the Orioles, dominating as a pitcher with a fastball that left batters trembling. However, it wasn't just his arm that impressed the scouts. Ruth's talent with a bat was equally undeniable. Within a short time, Ruth's potential as a hitter began to overshadow his pitching skills. At just 19, Ruth was already on the verge of greatness, and it wasn't long before the Boston Red Sox took notice. In 1914, they signed him, marking the beginning of his professional career in Major League Baseball. Ruth's talent was no longer a secret. He was a prodigy who was about to change the game forever. The Yankees Revolution. Ruth's impact on baseball. Babe. Ruth's move to the New York Yankees in 1920 marked a seismic shift in baseball history. In a single season, Ruth shattered expectations and forever changed the nature of the game. After being sold by the Red Sox for a record $100,000, Ruth's arrival in New York was nothing short of revolutionary. In his first year with the Yankees, Ruth hit an unprecedented 54 home runs, more than any other team in the league combined. His raw power at the plate was a spectacle that drew fans by the thousands, turning Yankee Stadium into a cathedral of baseball. This was not just a man hitting home runs. Ruth was redefining what it meant to play the game. Before Ruth, baseball was seen as a strategic, low-scoring affair. But Ruth's larger-than-life personality and awe-inspiring power turned baseball into a thrilling, high-energy spectacle. His ability to hit towering home runs forced pitchers to adjust their strategies, and fielders had to rethink how they positioned themselves. The Yankees, once a mediocre team, quickly became a dominant force in Major League Baseball, with Ruth leading the charge. The golden years, Babe Ruth's dominance. The 1920s were Ruth's golden years, a period of dominance that would define the era. He led the Yankees to multiple championships, earning the nickname Sultan of SWAT for his unmatched hitting prowess. Ruth's 1927 season, where he hit a then-record 60 home runs, was a defining moment in baseball history. That same year, his Yankees, dubbed Murderers Row, dominated the league with a mix of power, precision, and swagger. Ruth's impact extended beyond the numbers. His style, his presence, and his charisma made him a cultural icon. His batting was more than just technique. It was an art form, each swing a display of raw strength and natural grace. Fans flocked to see him, not just for the games, but for the spectacle he created every time he stepped to the plate. His dominance on the field was paralleled by his larger-than-life persona off it. Ruth's involvement in endorsements, films, and the growing radio broadcasts of games made him a household name, transcending baseball and becoming a symbol of the roaring 1920s. The price of glory, personal struggles. While Babe Ruth's on-field achievements were legendary, his personal life often reflected the excesses of the time. Ruth's larger-than-life persona wasn't just confined to baseball. It bled into every aspect of his existence. His love for indulgence, late nights, lavish parties, and an insatiable appetite for food and drink became almost as famous as his home runs. While many fans adored him for his free-spirited lifestyle, it took a toll on his body and performance. His weight fluctuated wildly, and at times his conditioning slipped so drastically that it impacted his play. In 1925, the consequences of his reckless lifestyle became public when Ruth was hospitalized for what the press dramatically called the bellyache heard round the world. This wasn't just a health scare, it was a wake-up call that even baseball's greatest icon wasn't invincible. Despite the occasional criticism from teammates and managers, Ruth's batting ability was undeniable, and his charisma overshadowed any shortcomings. However, this period marked the beginning of Ruth's struggle with maintaining his form, something that would follow him throughout the later years of his career. Decline and retirement, the end of an era. By the mid-1930s, Ruth's dominance on the field began to wane. Age and years of physical toll caught up with him. In 1935, Ruth signed with the Boston Braves, hoping to reignite his former glory. However, the magic that once electrified stadiums was now fading. Although Ruth managed a brief resurgence with a 3-home-run game in Pittsburgh, it was clear that his time had passed. His reflexes had dulled, and the game was changing rapidly, leaving Ruth behind. His final season was bittersweet, filled with moments of nostalgia for fans who remembered the mighty Babe Ruth of the 1920s. Ruth officially retired in 1935, leaving behind a legacy that would be immortalized. Though his final years weren't as spectacular as his prime, the shadow of his greatness loomed large over the game. He wasn't just a player, he was a symbol of a bygone era, a reminder of baseball's golden age. Legacy, more than just numbers. Babe Ruth's legacy transcended his impressive statistics. His influence on the game, the Yankees, and the sport itself is immeasurable. In 1936, Ruth was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame, cementing his place among the immortals. But his impact wasn't just about his records, it was about the culture he helped shape. Ruth transformed baseball from a tactical game into an exhilarating spectacle of power and emotion, drawing millions of fans into the stadiums. Ruth's influence reached beyond the field. His larger-than-life personality turned him into the first true sports celebrity. He became a symbol of America's roaring 20s, of excess, charm, and boundless ambition. His fame wasn't limited to baseball. It permeated the very fabric of American culture. Even after his death in 1948, his legend lived on. Ruth's name became synonymous with greatness, and his impact continued to shape baseball for generations. His legacy is still alive today, not just in the record books, but in the spirit of the game itself. Babe Ruth's story is one of transformation, triumph, and undying influence. From a troubled childhood in Baltimore to becoming the face of baseball, Ruth didn't just play the game, he changed it forever. His larger-than-life presence on and off the field made him more than just a sports icon. He became a cultural phenomenon. His home runs, his swagger, his personality, and his larger-than-life persona broke barriers and turned baseball into America's pastime. While his career was filled with moments of brilliance, it wasn't without its challenges. Ruth's excesses and personal struggles mirrored the excesses of the era in which he lived, reminding us that even the greatest can face human frailty. Yet, through it all, his impact never diminished. Today, Babe Ruth is remembered not only for his unparalleled records, but for how he brought excitement, energy, and a sense of wonder to the game. His legacy lives on in every home run hit, every fan in the stands, and in the hearts of all who love the game. Babe Ruth's name is synonymous with baseball itself, a testament to the greatness of a man who forever changed the sport and inspired generations to dream bigger, swing harder, and believe in the impossible.